Welcome to the Hot Read, where the takes are quick, the picks are bold, and somebody's definitely getting called out next week if they get it wrong. Each week, I'm joined by a guest picker, and we're breaking down the games that matter, college or pro. No coin flips, no fence sitting, just bold predictions and real talk. We look at the matchups, make the call, and then we stand on it. So let's get into it. This is the Hot Read. Today, I'm joined by my guy, Emory. What's good, bro?
What's going on? How you doing?
Man, I'm kicking it, man. What's good? What's good with you? So I know you're ready to make some picks. We're going to get
Yes,
into
sir.
it. What we not going to do is sit here and waste the people's time. So we know the name. Coach Belichick is coming over from the NFL in his first crack at college. He's taking on a Big 12 opponent. Give me your pick. UNC versus TCU.
I'm going with UNC. I think this is a big fit, big deal for Belichick to make sure that, he's going to guide these guys in the right direction. So I'm going to take US. I'm going with North Carolina.
I'm going against you. I'm going against the grain. I think TCU, I think they've been building more at the collegiate level. Obviously, we know what Coach Belichick means to the game, but I think TCU is building. I think last year was a little bit of a step back, and I think they get back on track this year.
I think that's okay, but I feel like Belichick don't bring in some guys in the transfer portal. One guy I think from Tampa, I think his name is Smith, came from I think University of Florida. So I think he got some guys that down there in North Carolina that you're gonna be surprised.
All right, I like it. So now let's give our HBCU some love. You know how we do it over here on the Hot Read. This one actually going down in our backyard, the Orange Blossom Classic. Who you got? FAMU versus Howard.
I'm gonna go with Fam. I think the head coach. This is what his second year of being the head coach there, or second or third, and I think that this year is a year that he got to make a statement to show that he was worthy of being that coach. And he has a lot of big time transfers coming in, especially one of our guys that we personally know transferred from Illinois, Canary, playing receiver down there. And then they got a quarterback that was at Central Michigan. Tyler Jefferson that's down there. So I'm going to go with FAMU for sure.
So I'm lockstep with you. I actually think this one could get ugly. I'm with you 100%. I think Fam made some great additions through the portal, especially getting guys from the P4 and just from the, FBS level overall. So yeah, I'm going FAMU. All right, let's transition. Let's talk a little G5 action. App State versus Charlotte.
So this game here, I'm going to go with App State. Charlotte's been a program that really hasn't produced in a long time. App State, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they lost their head coach to Mo Marshall, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this is something like a rebuild kind of program, trying to build their program back to where it used to be. So I'm going to go with App State on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. App State for a G5 team, they recruit like insane. So I'm going App State. I think they got a little too much for Charlotte. Again, this is one of those games I think it could get ugly. I think the only thing that keep it close, obviously, you have that connection, both of them being from the North Carolina state, but I'm going App State for sure. Okay, so now let's start getting to the meat of this thing. So ACC versus SEC mid-tier type of game. So let's talk about the number 13 South Carolina Gamecocks taking on the Hokies of Virginia Tech.
So this game is going to be interesting. So, Coach Beamer's son is the head coach at South Carolina State. South Carolina, I'm sorry, not South Carolina State, but South Carolina. And his dad was at Virginia Tech forever. So I'm going to go with South Carolina for sure, because I think last year was a great year for him. And I think he's just going to keep continuing to build that program up to the top tier level.
So Virginia Tech is always scrappy. And South Carolina has one of my favorite quarterbacks this year in Lenore Sellers. I think he's going to be in the Heisman conversation, but I'm going with Virginia Tech, bro. And the reason why I touched on this in a quick outlook that I did, like we're talking about Virginia Tech, whenever it comes to those Friday, Sunday, Monday type of games, they are insanely dangerous. So I'm going with the Hokies in this one. I think they pull it off because they match up very well in those off day games.
So would you say this game can go down to a field goal?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. No, for sure. It's going to be a fourth quarter battle. Notre Dame is fresh off a national championship appearance. Miami lost firepower, but built this defense from the ground up. Will this be an Irish statement game or the Canes coming out party? Well, you got the number 10 Miami Hurricanes versus the number 6 Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Me personally, I got the Miami Hurricanes. And the reason why I got the Miami Hurricanes, this is for show. They have to show that they're ready to compete for a national championship. This game is going to be a big game for them. But I do see that they're going to come out with victory. Notre Dame, I see what they can do, but I'm going with the Hurricanes.
So this one was tough for me for many reasons. As Coach Pro, I want to go one way, but I just can't do it. I'm going with them Dade County boys. Miami Hurricanes get the win. They have a statement win week 1 in the Rock, and they continue on throughout the season, but we'll talk about that stuff later. But I believe the Miami Hurricanes definitely hand Notre Dame a loss and continue to rebuild where they kind of left off last year before things went awry. Can the real Death Valley please stand up? By Clemson standards, last year was a down season, and they still won the SEC. Brian Kelly has struggled in week 1 games since taking over at LSU. Both teams want to make a statement, but for different reasons. Can Clemson prove the ACC can knock off the SEC? Or will LSU plant their flag as contenders? Number 4 Clemson versus number 9 LSU.
I'm going with LSU for sure. I feel like this is a statement year. I feel like LSU, a lot of their key players came back this year. Okay. Quarterback is number 1. And I feel like Brian Kelly is going to show them that he belongs in the SEC. So I'm gonna go with LSU.
Okay. I'm not buying the hype. I think we see this year after year, the LSU hype train. Oh, they did this in the portal. They did this in recruiting. They have this coming back. I'm just not buying it. To me, Dabo, he's proven more. And I love what I've seen from Cade Klubnik. I think Clemson takes a major step forward. I can see them as one of those, top 4 teams at the end of the year. So I'm definitely going Clemson to protect the real Death Valley.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
A lot of players start the year as Heisman hopefuls, but only a select few already have their tickets booked for New York. And whoever made this matchup, we owe you a round. Arch Manning makes his first meaningful start for Texas in the horseshoe. Talk about pressure. On the other side, Jeremiah Smith turned heads as a true freshman, and defensive coordinators will lose sleep all season thinking about how they're going to defend it. So who's the best conference in college football? The steady, reliable SEC or the Big Ten, home of the last 2 national championships? Give me your final pick. The number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes versus the number 1 Texas Longhorn.
This one is kind of tricky, but I'm gonna go with the Texas Longhorn. They I think Arch Manning gonna prove a lot of people wrong that he can really play. And the head coach, this is a statement year for him. He has to show everybody that he's deservingly to be the Texas head coach and that he can win a big game. He hasn't, when it counted the most last year against Ohio State, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So this year, I feel like he got to do what he's supposed to do.
Man, bro, walking into the horseshoe week 1, I'm still upset with the Big Ten Conference, and I hope they get this message because it was an opportunity to take this from a noon kickoff to a primetime kickoff, and obviously, they kept it. But I've struggled. Again, this is a game I struggle with all week. Which way do I lean? Which way, do I go? So I'm going against the grain, bro. I can't rock with you on this one. I'm going Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith cements his way to the Heisman Trophy because he's definitely winning the Heisman. And Ohio State continue to build and, on their path to potentially be a repeat national champion. So, yeah, I'm going Ohio State, man.
Oh, one thing about the Texas Longhorns, they recruiting heavily in South Florida.
Okay, I feel you.
I think that Texas is gonna show why they recruiting heavily down here.
Hey, Jeremiah Smith from Dade County, baby.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys in Ohio State that's from down south as well. But I'm just something in my heart telling me Texas is gonna show the world that they can compete for be a top tier team in the nation.
Listen, in short order, what my guy's saying, if you want a national championship team, it ain't about NIL. It ain't about, transfer portal. It's about finding them boys from South Florida. That's where they at. Charge up those phones for the trash talk. Clear your group chats for the victory laps. Embrace your timeline for the meltdown posts. I'm Coach Pro. Shout out to my guest picker, Emery. And thanks for rocking with us on the Hot Read. Enjoy all the week 1 matchups, and I'll see you next week.